are going to be using the Dialectal Behavioural Therapy Diary. This is by Matthew McKay, PhD, and Jeffrey C. Wood. So this is by a psychologist and another psychologist, but one of them is a doctor and one of them is a psychologist who specializes in cognitive behavioral therapy. Let's go straight into it. So, as we are in the first part of this, we will cover the introduction. So it's important for us to know what dialectal behavioural therapy is, because you may not necessarily have borderline personality disorder or emotionally unstable personality disorder, but you may just feel the need to manage emotional regulation and to practice these techniques and tips so that you can work out how to regulate your own life better. So, dialectal behavioural therapy was originally created by Dr. Marsha Linehan to help people who were struggling with borderline personality disorder. It was designed to teach people practical skills to improve their lives, and research showed that it was very successful. Now, dialectal behavioural therapy is also being used to help people who are struggling with a wide variety of other problems, including depression, bipolar disorder, and anxiety. The common factor in all of these problems is overwhelming emotions. So, rather than discussing what overwhelming emotions are, I think that if you are here, it is likely that you already know what overwhelming emotions are. So we don't need to get into this today. But we will talk about the 4 different skills. Luckily, this type of therapy, dialectal behavioural therapy, has taught thousands of people how to cope with issues related to overwhelming emotions. In general, dialectal behavioural therapy teaches 4 groups of practical skills. These help you in many areas of your life. The first skill is distance tolerance skills. Distress tolerance skills, sorry. These will help you distract yourself from painful situations when you cannot cope with them, and then relax and soothe yourself. Number 2 is mindfulness skills. We could all use mindfulness skills. Mindfulness skills help you to stay focused on what's happening in the present moment, concentrate and make healthier choices as a result. Number 3 is emotional regulation. Now, these emotional regulation skills will help you to identify and name your feelings. Then you can learn how to tolerate them without getting overwhelmed. That brings us to number 4, which is interpersonal effectiveness skills. These interpersonal effectiveness skills will give you the tools to improve your relationships and ask for what you want in an effective way. Then say no and establish appropriate boundaries in a respectful and healthy way. This helps you to do things such as raise children, have a successful marriage, and also to regulate your own emotional skills and your own emotions. So this is really great. Now, the purpose of this book. We can go into this another day when we go into what overwhelming emotions are, if you need to go into that, as I feel we have covered enough of the introduction now. So now we will go into chapter number 1. We will cover chapter number 1 today, and that is all we will do. We will go through the rest of it at a later date. So, chapter number 1 is distress tolerance. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult or impossible to avoid a situation that causes you emotional or physical pain. As a result, you might feel overwhelmed and not know what to do. In situations like these, distress tolerance skills can help you to endure and cope with the situation until you're able to come up with a plan to then deal with the situation in a healthy and effective way. So, oftentimes when I speak on my channel and across my other channels about making sure that we are engaging in a healthy lifestyle, many times we think about having a healthy eating habit. We think about having a healthy diet or a healthy fitness regime. But we don't often think about our mental health, our mind. So once we actually learn how to deal with stressful situations, this will help us to then make sure that we are managing our own emotions and then again regulating our mental health. So, there are 10 important distress tolerance skills that you should learn and use every single day. Stop self-destructive actions. Use radical acceptance. Distract yourself from pain. Engage in pleasurable activities. Soothe yourself. Practice relaxation. Commit to a valued action. And engage with your higher power. Use coping thoughts and use coping strategies. One moment, sorry. Once you do these things, they will really help you to make sure that you are able to clear your mind of negativity so that you can start to raise your vibration and connect with your intuition and then nurture yourself so that you can heal your mental health. So the next step is to stop self-destructive behaviors. By stopping self-destructive actions, some people who struggle with overwhelming emotions also engage in self-destructive actions like cutting, burning, or scratching themselves. This isn't just limited to those things. Often people who have self-destructive actions, you may be someone who resonates as someone who engages in risk-taking behaviors such as spending all of your money and then realizing that you can't pay your bills. That's a risk-taking behavior that many people do, or gambling all of your money away that many people may do that they don't realize is a self-destructive behavior until after they have come to the point where they are unable to sort of get themselves out of it. So it's important to make sure that you are taking the right steps to minimize these self-destructive behaviors and patterns so that you can then look after yourself and nurture yourself. Because quite often when we get ourselves to a point of distress, when we get ourselves to a state where we may feel like we are having to do these types of things because we are insecure in ourselves. Now, when we take the steps towards healing ourselves and focusing on healing and recharging our mental health, we will be able to actually fix those problems within our trauma and within our own responses, so that we aren't choosing those same responses in the future. So for example, if your first response when you feel down is to cut yourself or to burn yourself or to engage in negative behaviors, you will perhaps take yourself out for a walk or go to see friends and have a good day out instead. And this will help you to stop engaging in those same destructive patterns that you previously were engaging yourself in. Now, it's true that some of these actions might release your body's own painkillers and make you feel good temporarily, but it's also true that they could lead to serious infection, injury, and possibly death. Here are some safer actions you can use to distract yourself from self-destructive emotions and thoughts. It also says, if this is something you do, the most important first step in your treatment is to stop these behaviors or to engage in some safer type of behavior instead. And this is what you can do. Hold an ice cube in one hand and squeeze it. Write on yourself with a red felt tip marker instead of cutting. Draw the faces of people you hate on balloons and pop them. Throw foam balls on socks or pillows against the wall as hard as you can. Make a voodoo doll out of rolled up socks or foam and then stick pins in it. In your diary, note how many times each day you're able to stop yourself from engaging in self-destructive actions. Also, if you are making a voodoo doll, it's important to make sure that you aren't making it about someone, because that can bring about negative karma, which you're going to attract back upon yourself. So yeah, if you are going to try and make a puppet or a voodoo doll, make sure that it's a neutral person. In your diary, note how many times each day you're able to stop yourself from engaging in self-destructive actions. Now, the next step is to use radical acceptance. This is something that I personally like to use a lot myself. Radical acceptance is the ability to acknowledge whatever is happening to you right now without fighting it, judging the event, or criticizing yourself and others. For example, imagine that you are stuck in a long line at the grocery store. You might start to get angry and judge other people for being so slow, or criticize yourself for being so stupid for shopping at this time. You may even start to argue with the manager to open a new checkout line. However, all of these behaviors and thoughts will only make your situation more frustrating. This will only lead to more pain. So, in addition, if you think this situation shouldn't be happening, you're missing the point that it is happening. So you must deal with it as best as you can. In comparison, radical acceptance helps you acknowledge that your situation is occurring because of a long chain of past events that you can't control or fight. Using radical acceptance might not make the long line at the grocery store move any quicker, but it will prevent you from creating additional frustration and suffering for yourself. Use some of the following statements to help you practice radical acceptance in challenging situations. For better or worse, this is the way it has to be right now. It won't help the situation to criticize myself or anyone else right now. It's no use fighting the past because I can't do anything to change it. This situation is the result of past decisions I can't change anymore. The present is the only moment I have any control over. When you use radical acceptance, it also creates an opportunity for you to recognize the role you and others are playing in the current situation. This way you can choose to do something much more effective. For example, if the line at the grocery store is much too slow and you have other obligations, well, it might be better to just leave than to get angry. Here are some key questions to ask yourself. What past events led up to this situation? What role did I play in creating this situation? What role did others play in this situation? What do I have control of in this situation? What is beyond my control in this situation? If I radically accept this situation, what choices can I make? Keep in mind that radical acceptance does not mean that you have to condone or agree with bad behavior in others. This doesn't mean that you have to surrender to dangerous situations. For example, if you are in an abusive relationship and you need to get out, then get out. In your diary, note how many times each day you use radical acceptance. Distract yourself from pain is the next step. Sometimes when you're feeling overwhelmed by your emotions, you're experiencing too much pain and it's impossible to cope with a difficult situation. In these circumstances, the best thing that you can do is distract your attention and focus on something else. Then, with a little time, you'll be able to relax and cope with the situation in a healthy and effective way. Here are some ways to distract your attention. Pay attention to someone else. Volunteer to help someone. Go to a shopping mall or park to observe other people, or simply think of having a peaceful, soothing conversation with someone that you care about. Think of something pleasant. Remember a fun event from your past in as much detail as possible. Observe the natural world around you, like the trees, animals, sky, and daydream about your most pleasant fantasy coming true. Start counting. Count whatever you can think of, like the number of breaths you take, the number of objects you see in a room, or simply numbers in order. 1, 2, 3. Do some tasks or chores. Although it might not sound fun, sometimes the most mundane tasks can take your mind off something more painful. Go somewhere. Sometimes leaving a difficult situation is better than sticking around and feeling overwhelmed. especially if you're able to create a coping plan while you're gone. Remember, the plan is not to avoid difficult situations altogether. Rather, it is temporarily to distract yourself until you can handle the situation. In other words, distract, relax, cope. In your diary, note how many times each day you're able to distract yourself from pain. Now, the last subject on this, that's not actually. So the next subject is to engage in pleasurable activities. Do something pleasurable as often as possible is the best way to distract yourself from painful emotions. But it's also important to engage in these types of activities on a regular basis in order to bring some joy into your life, and be sure to schedule at least one pleasurable activity every day and mark it on your diary. Here are a few suggestions. Spend some time with friends or family. Exercise. Go for a long walk or drive. Learn a new sports skill or hobby. Go shopping. Eat something delicious. Watch a funny movie. Visit a local cafe. Listen to some upbeat, happy music and dance. Visit a local museum. Do something exciting like skiing, surfing, or kayaking. Work on your garden, car, or home. Cook a new recipe. In your diary, note how many times each day you engage in pleasurable activities and record what the activity was in the specifics column. Soothe yourself. If you are struggling with overwhelming emotions, learning how to soothe yourself is very important because it can make both your body and your mind feel better. As a result, you'll also be able to cope with difficult emotions in a more effective way. The following techniques require you to use one of your 5 senses: sight, smell, hearing, taste, and touch. Find the ones that work the best for you. Use your sense of smell. Burn an incense or pleasantly scented candles. Wear scented oils. Go someplace with pleasant scent, like a bakery. Cook something that has a pleasing smell. Buy some flowers that smell nice. Use your sense of sight. Go through magazines and cut out pictures that you like, and make collages. Find a place that's soothing to look at, like a park. Look through a book of photographs or art that you like. Look at a picture or image of someone that you care about. Use your sense of hearing. Listen to some soothing music, an audiobook, or a pleasant talk show. These may be on the radio, YouTube, or on different podcast services. Listen to the peaceful sounds of nature like birds or the ocean. Using a white noise machine to block out distracting sounds. Use your sense of taste. Enjoy your favorite meal. Eat something soothing like ice cream. And drink something soothing like hot chocolate. Eat a ripe and juicy piece of fruit. Suck on a piece of your favorite hard candy. Use your sense of touch. So you can use your sense of touch to hug someone that you care about, carry something soft or velvety in your pocket that is soothing, take a long, relaxing shower or bath, get a massage or facial, ask someone you trust to rub your shoulders or head, wear your most comfortable clothes. In your diary, note how many times each day you're able to soothe yourself. Relaxation techniques can help you to release stress from both your muscles and your mind. As a result, you'll feel calmer and more empowered to take on difficult or painful tasks. Relaxation techniques are like other skills and require practice in order to be effective. Don't wait until you're ready and feeling overwhelmed to try these techniques. Practice them on a daily basis so that you're ready to be confronted by a stressful situation. Take time out. If you feel burned out from taking care of others all the time, find a little time every day to take care of yourself and your own needs. Try scheduling half an hour each day dedicated to relaxing, exercising, reading, or even running errands for yourself. Remember, you deserve to be treated as kindly as everybody else. It does not mean that you are selfish if you put yourself first. Sometimes you have to do your best to find a balance between taking care of yourself and others, so you don't end up feeling resentful or angry. Use slow breathing. Find a comfortable place to sit or lie down for 5 to 10 minutes. Place one hand on your stomach. Inhale slowly and smoothly through your nose. Imagine your breath moving down into your belly, gently expanding like a balloon. Then exhale smoothly through your mouth and feel your belly release like a balloon, gently contracting. Find a slow and natural rhythm for breathing. When you get distracted, return your focus to your breathing or the sensation of your hand on your stomach. Do your best to relax. If you begin to feel lightheaded or experience tingling in your lips or fingertips, you're probably breathing too deeply, in which case you should stop, breathe naturally, and wait until you feel better before stopping again. Use progressive muscle relaxation. The goal of this technique is to release muscle tension. As you exhale, you can practice this while standing, sitting, or lying down, whichever is more comfortable. First, take a breath and hold it. Next, tense one group of muscles at a time for 7 seconds. And notice the sensation of tightness in the muscles. Finally, exhale and quickly release all of the tension in that muscle group. Notice the difference between tense feeling and the relaxed feeling after you have released the muscles. You can systematically tense and release your muscles from your toes to the top of your head. Or you can group the muscles in the following way. First, curl your toes. Second, straighten your legs and point your toes. Third, bend your arms at the elbows and tighten your fists like a bodybuilder posing. Tighten your stomach and chest muscles. Curling forwards like you're hugging a large beach ball. Fifth, straighten your arms and raise your shoulders towards your ears. And finally, tighten the muscles of your eyes. Wait, hold on. Fifth, straighten your arms and raise your shoulders towards your ears. Fifth, and finally, tighten the eyes of your eyes, mouth, and face. If you experience any pain, stop immediately. So, last step. Wait, hold on. Okay, so now the last part of today's dialectal behavioural therapy. Actually, yeah, this will be the last part, although this isn't the last part of this section. This is the last part that we will do today. So, visualize a peaceful scene. I think this is a nice place to leave it. Find a comfortable place to sit or lie down for 5 to 10 minutes. Close your eyes and use 2 minutes of slow breathing to help you to relax. You can pause this video for 2 minutes. Then, visualize a real or imaginary place where you feel peaceful and safe, such as a relaxing place at the beach, sitting on a cloud, walking in a park, sitting in an ancient temple, or any other place that you like. Use your imaginary senses to ground yourself in the scene. Visualize what your peaceful scene looks like. Imagine the sounds you would hear. Try to feel anything you might be touching with your hands or other parts of your body. Imagine any smells or scents. You would experience. And finally, imagine tasting finally imagine tasting anything that you might be eating or drinking. Remember, you're in control of this scene. So you can make anything appear or disappear to make it safer and more soothing. Explore your scene as fully as possible. Notice any feelings or thoughts that come to you. Use this technique when you need to relax. But don't use it if you are already dissociating or feeling detached from your reality, because then it's important to practice grounding. Although this book doesn't say it, that's what is important to do. If you are feeling detached from reality, oh, it does say if you're feeling detached from reality, do your best to ground yourself in the present moment by noticing what you are seeing, feeling, hearing, smelling, and touching. In your diary, note how many times each day you use relaxation skills. So the next part that we will go into will be committing to valued action, but that is all for today. Thank you very much for watching today's video, and I will see you next time. Namaste. Let me know down below if this resonated and if it helped you, and also let me know what it is that you would like to see coming up. Thank you very much. See you next time. Goodbye.